Day one in the trip from Bermuda to Mobile, Alabama. Had to leave by 4 o'clock today because customs doesn't process people out after that time, and the wind doesn't start blowing until midnight. So going to be motoring for about 6 hours. Also, there's going to be a gale on the 20th, well, not really a gale, it's going to be blowing 30 knots out of the north, which should assist this passage greatly. Day two, leaving Bermuda to the Bahamas, and from the Bahamas back through the Keys and to Mobile. Currently, we're 100 miles, a little bit more, from the island of Bermuda. We're south by southwest. We're heading in that same direction, about 240 degrees true. Everything's going pretty smooth. We're not making great time, but we're making pretty good time considering the light winds and that we're heading almost direct downwind. So which we have to get south as much as possible to avoid the high pressure zone that'll develop here pretty quickly. Anyway, things are going smooth. Just another great day on the Atlantic. Okay, the Northerly's here as promised. It came in this morning with the sun up, and it came in quick and hard, and the seas got confused instantly. The seas are still big and a little confused, but not as bad as it was this morning. And this should just be the worst of it should just be 12 hours. So tonight should be calming down and a much better situation. sea state is picked up, the wind sustained is picked up, the gust is picked up, everything's picked up. We're now knocking on, you know, 28, 30 knots of wind. I've got the third reef in, the little cheek block, and the way the guy cut it, man, and the jam cleat, everything works smooth. Look at the size of these monsters. I mean, it probably just missed two huge waves. I'm going to say these things are closer to 15 feet now. Everything is sorted out with the boat, though. We're in good shape. We're probably going to get pooped at some point. I might even batten down the hatches. And we could have as much as 12 hours left with this weather system. Anyway, I missed the big waves, but I think you get the point. These are big seas. But like I say, we got the third reef in. The wind vane has got the piloting shores, you know, locked down, so we don't have to worry about that. The boat is solid, and we're not. It's not calling out for anything over 30 on any of the weather models. So, oh my. Going below. It's day 4 of the Bermuda to Bahamas / Mobile, Alabama trip. 72 hours in, we've got 330 miles as the crow flies, but now we've been zigzagging, so that may be closer to 350, but so we're making good time, you know, 115, 120 miles a day in these conditions. The gale, well, I guess you've seen it on the videos. So the low pressure system with, you know, 30 knots of wind has been gone all day. Well, you know, I mean, it dissipated at some point in the evening, or in the morning, I should say. The first thing when I got up, I'd already shook the third reef out before I went to bed. Shook the second and first reef out when I got up. Yet the sea state has almost remained unchanged. It's a little smaller now, but we still get 8 to 10 foot rollers that come through, and I'm gonna say it's a consistent 8 foot, and, you know, lumpy. So the wind may have subsided, but the sea state certainly hasn't. So it's been an uncomfortable passage. However, we've been surfing down these things and seeing, you know, 8.2 knots over ground. So that's all good. It's speeding up the passage, and we'll take it. It's day 5. 4 whole days on the sea. Obviously day 1, when I made the first video, that was 0 miles. So 4 24-hour periods. We're about 350 miles from the Bahama leg. I don't know if you can still see that barge over there. I got a video of it crossing in front of us. I will be getting ASI or AIS system going forward. I don't think that captain was watching where he's going. I radioed him, and he made up some thing about, you know, my computer says I'll pass in front of you and we got plenty of room. We did not. I had to bear off and parallel him until his tow line and barge were past me, and then went behind him. So that's the third collision that took intervention on my part not to make contact. So yeah, AIS is coming onto the boat. Something I've wanted to get, but it just seemed like something that you needed for that extra bit of safety. But if you're on the Atlantic at all, you got to have it, period, full stop. You know, there may be some places that you don't need it, but off the eastern seaboard in the Bahamas, you know, it's mandatory. I don't know what that line is off the back, however. Huh. I don't know if you can see that line. I'm gonna have to call the captain and find out how long that line is before I can cross. Day 6. Not too much to report. About 230 miles probably from the Bahamas. We're currently heading downwind on a broad reach, port tack. Not quite making the compass heading we need, about 10 degrees off. So we'll probably have to, well, we're going to run out of wind, but I mean, if conditions were the same, we definitely have to switch to a starboard tack, you know, at some point before we get there. No issues. It's day 7, still heading downwind on our way to the Bahamas. I mean, we're just 100 miles from the you know, the islands, but I'm gonna go in up here by Nassau, and that's where I'm gonna cut across at. So I think that's about 140 miles from here. We should be going in there tomorrow night, if everything stays the same, and I think it will. It looks like the wind's gonna last right about until we get there, and then it's gonna have a few days of no wind. I haven't had to use the motor at all this passage, so we've got 75 hours of fuel on board, so it should get us all the way to Key West, or not Key West, but either Marathon or Key Largo, Bay of Biscayne. We'll see how it looks and what the conditions are. Still have to go through customs as well. I've not done that, so I got to figure out how that's going to take place. Anyway, things are going smooth. Nothing to report. We should see the island of the Bahamas tomorrow. It's day 8 in the passage from Bermuda to Key West. It looks like it's turning out. Had a less than productive night of sailing. The wind stopped, flogged all over the place for hours, then fired up the engine and went back to bed. The autopilot had disconnected, and I was heading back out to sea for I don't know how long, but we're back on course, motor sailing, picking up extra knot from the wind. Hopefully the wind fills in. It's supposed to tomorrow, so that'll be good. We've got 35 nautical miles to go to the inlet and 234 to get to the Keys. So chugging right along, should be in the Keys on the 3rd, I think. Anyway, uneventful. The seas have been really calm, and so I've got some stuff down below. Just this has been a lumpy trip back. Makes getting things done impossible, but life's good. It's day 9, I believe. Currently west of the Bahamas, just with the head sail up, keeping the speed down. As you can see, this blue area is not charted for depth. It says 0 to 66 feet. So I'm going with it. It's pretty consistently 14, so I think we're going to be fine. In order to go around it, or I mean, obviously I guess I could have bought the chart, so I'm assuming it's charted somewhere. I would have had to go up this way and out toward 50 miles out of my way towards Miami to come out this channel here. So anyway, we're about 120 miles from Key Largo, where I think there's a cut I'm going to pull in, and should be throwing anchor out tomorrow, which would end this passage, this section. Anyway, hoping we don't run aground. Day 10, final day of this passage. 9 full days on the Atlantic. We're currently coming into Biscayne National Park through Hawk Cut, I believe, or Hawk Channel. Pretty shoaly, so I'm going to try to not run aground on the way in.